What's up, MMA fans? First off, I'm just gonna say, Ultimate Fighter 5 finale card was last night, so I'm pretty fucking hungover right now. Hence the reason I look like shit. But here to do the UFC 73 predictions. So I don't got much time this morning because I got some shit to do. But we'll try and run through it quickly but efficiently. First prelim. Well, first let me just say this card is great. Hence the name stacked. First fight, Mark Bocek versus Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar, of course, win over Tyson Griffin. Frankie Edgar, just amazing. There's not much to say about this fight. Mark Bocek, not known around the MMA world. He's undefeated at 4-0, but Frankie Edgar will be too overwhelming and take it by an early second round submission. The next fight, very interesting matchup. Chris Lytle, who has lost his last 4 UFC fights, but has impressed the UFC enough to stay around. He always makes a fight exciting. I've personally never seen Chris Lytle in a boring fight. Drew Fickett, much the same. Very exciting fighter. They both great stand-up, both great groundwork. It's all just going to come down to see who does more damage and wants it more. I'm going to say Chris Lytle by decision. George Gurgel versus Diego Saravea. George Gurgel, I don't bash fighters, but I think he is, a little overrated because he comes out of Franklin's camp, obviously. He's lost his first UFC fight to Mark Hominick, which is nothing to be ashamed of. Mark Hominick's a stud. Unanimous decision win over Danny Abadi, who is a C-level fighter at best. Diego, the Octopus 9-4-1. He sorry, I'm just so hungover, but Diego has lost his only UFC fight. Wasn't impressed with him. So all I can say is George Gurgel by submission. Not a big fan of either of them, though. Off his steroid suspension, Stephan Bonner makes his return against Mike Nichols today. Mike Nichols has won his first UFC fight by submission, which was rather impressive. Stephan, of course, been in 2 wars with Forrest Griffin. He's fought James Irvin, Keith Jardine, Rashad Evans, on and on. I think Stephan will be too overwhelming and just too much for Mike Nichols on the feet, on the ground, and I think Stephan will finish this fight in the second round. Submission, TKO, call it what you will. Heath Herring versus Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. Now, for those of you who don't know who Nogueira is, you're in for a treat because he is amazing. He's never been finished. He's losses come to Fedor Emelianenko twice, Dan Henderson once, and Josh Barnett once. He has beat Josh Barnett in his last fight there. I don't think this fight should be happening. I think the UFC is making a mistake. My prediction is Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira by a submission in the second. But Heath Herring's a marketable guy. He had a lackluster performance against Jake O'Brien in his first UFC fight, and he lost. A less than spectacular win, unanimous decision win over Brad Imes. I think he's a marketable guy still, and I don't think throwing another blemish on his record from Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira is a smart thing to do. They've already fought twice before in Pride with Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira taking both those fights. I really don't want to see Nogueira Herring 3 when basically I think Nogueira will just walk through him. But it is 2007. Crazy things have been happening. Herring could maybe catch him in something or win a decision. Who knows? Unlikely in my eyes, but that's another thing where the UFC is making a mistake, I think, is that Antonio Nogueira is making his debut. They've hyped him up. If he loses, it's the same thing as when Herring came in and lost his debut. Curl Cop getting knocked out by Gonzaga. I can go, you know what I mean. Antonio Nogueira by a second round submission. Kenny Florian versus Alvin Robinson. Kenny Florian, get impressed with the kid more and more after he fights. His fight after Sean Shirk, obviously, a big step for him. Although he lost that fight, I think he did a lot of growing up. Alvin Robinson, not really known much. Not much to say about this one other than that I think Kenny will finish on the ground, probably in the third round. Rashad Evans and Tito Ortiz, people, come on, let's be realistic here. Everyone is expecting Rashad to plow through Tito Ortiz. I know there's a lot of Tito hate out there, but I'm not one to compare styles. If someone beats some other guy, I'm not going to say another guy's going to beat him because of it, but Sean Salmon was out wrestling Rashad Evans. And Tito Ortiz's wrestling is very good. I expect Tito to take down Rashad, work his elbows, his punches for 3 straight rounds, and take a unanimous decision. I give Rashad 0 chance in this fight. Hermes Franca and Sean Shirk, the lightweight title. Now this is an amazing fight because I am a die-hard Hermes Franca fan. I've always been a Hermes Franca fan. Sean Shirk, great takedowns, great ground and pound. His stand-up is decent. His conditioning is phenomenal. Hermes Franca likes to throw wild, which could be a disadvantage in this fight because it sets you up to be taken down. Hermes Franca has fought some of the best fighters in the world. Coming off his win of Spencer Fisher. He's ready for his title shot. I think he deserves it. Sean Shirk has only lost twice to Matt Hughes and GSP, which is George St. Pierre for those of you who don't know. So that's something. That's an impressive resume. But just because I'm a diehard Hermes Franca fan, I'm going to say Hermes Franca in the third round by TKO. I think he'll catch Shirk and drop him and work some ground and pound. Middleweight title, the main event. This another thing, people, that most of you may think this looks like a good fight, and it is a good looking fight on paper. I do not agree. I think it is going to be a slaughter. Not taking anything away from Nathan Marquardt, he has fought amazing fighters. I don't like to call anybody a boring fighter. I try to find the beauty in all of MMA. I love when the fight hits the ground. Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, when it's on the feet. I'm not one of those people who boo a fight that's on the ground. Unlike most of you fucking retards. I've never seen anything in Nate Marquardt's game that is going to stop Anderson Silva. I think Anderson Silva's going to knock him out in the first round. Just brutal punches, elbows on the ground. If it goes there, knees in the clinch. Anderson Silva by a knockout. So that pretty much does it. I'm hungover still, so I'm going to go to bed now. And then, yeah, just enjoy the card. I'll keep coming with you for these predictions, and other than that, just take care and enjoy the card and listen to Slayer.